For centuries, the Indus Valley Civilization stood as one of the most advanced societies of the ancient world. While Egypt built pyramids and Mesopotamia raised monumental temples, the Indus people focused on something far more subtle order. Their cities followed precise grid plans. They used standardized bricks. They built advanced drainage and sanitation systems unmatched for their time. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dolivera, and many others formed a vast, interconnected urban world, and then it began to fade. Not in fire, not in conquest, but quietly. By around 1900 BCE, the great cities of the Indus Valley started to empty. Urban centers were gradually abandoned. Craft specialization declined. Long-distance trade weakened. Writing disappeared. Within a few centuries, one of the largest civilizations on Earth no longer existed as a unified system. There are no surviving texts to explain why. Only archaeology remains. Early scholars once blamed invasion. They argued that migrating Indo-Aryan groups violently destroyed the Indus cities. Modern evidence does not support this. There are no widespread signs of warfare. No destruction layers consistent with conquest. No mass graves or trauma patterns indicating invasion. Skeletons once used to support this theory were later proven to belong to different time periods. The invasion narrative collapsed. What replaced it was a more complex and uncomfortable explanation: climate change. Paleoclimatic studies using marine sediments, lake cores, and cave formations show a significant shift in monsoon patterns between roughly 2200 and 1900 BCE. The Indian summer monsoon weakened. Rainfall became unpredictable. Flood cycles changed. Rivers began to behave differently. A civilization dependent on environmental stability lost its balance. The Indus people relied heavily on river systems, including the Indus itself and the Ghaggar-Hakra river network. Geological evidence suggests that the Ghaggar-Hakra gradually dried as monsoon rainfall declined and tectonic shifts altered its flow. As rivers failed, agriculture suffered. And without reliable agriculture, cities cannot survive. Archaeobotanical evidence shows that Indus farmers adapted by shifting from water-intensive crops like wheat and barley to more drought-resistant millets. This was a survival strategy, but it came at a cost. Millet could support rural populations, but not dense urban centers. At the same time, trade networks collapsed. Indus goods disappear from Mesopotamian records after 1900 BCE. Seals, beads, and raw materials stopped circulating. Without trade, urban economies broke down. Specialized labor vanished. Cities slowly lost their purpose. Archaeology does not show destruction. It shows neglect. Drainage systems were no longer repaired. Brick standards disappeared. Urban planning deteriorated. The precision that once defined Indus cities slowly unraveled. Crucially, this was not a sudden collapse. Different regions declined at different times. Some cities were abandoned early. Others persisted in reduced form. Rural settlements increased as cities emptied. People did not disappear. They moved. Genetic studies confirm population continuity. There was no mass replacement. The people of the Indus region survived. What disappeared was the urban system itself. This forces a reevaluation of what collapse truly means. The Indus civilization did not fall dramatically. It dissolved. Complex administration faded. Writing disappeared. Central authority weakened. Life continued, but differently. The Indus system was highly standardized. Uniform bricks, uniform weights, uniform planning. This efficiency created strength, but also fragility. When climate conditions changed and trade failed, adaptation became difficult. Rigid systems struggle under instability. Unlike other ancient civilizations, the Indus left no royal inscriptions or monumental propaganda. Power appears to have been decentralized. This may have limited their ability to respond collectively to environmental stress. Climate instability increased. Agriculture weakened. Trade collapsed. Urban life declined. No single cause. Only accumulation. The decline of the Indus civilization remains deeply relevant today. Modern societies also depend on stable climate, water systems, trade networks, and specialization. Disrupt one element, the rest begin to strain. The Indus people adapted as best they could. They changed crops. They migrated eastward. They abandoned cities peacefully. Survival replaced complexity. By around 1300 BCE, the Indus Valley Civilization no longer existed as a unified cultural system. Its cities were buried beneath sediment. Its script remains undeciphered. Its story incomplete. The Indus decline was not caused by invasion or sudden catastrophe. It was caused by imbalance. Between humans and environment. Between complexity and resilience. There was no villain. Only change. And perhaps that is the most unsettling explanation of all. Because it means civilization does not always end in violence. Sometimes